Oh, I won the lottery.
Yes, we get a share.
I wish.
I was present when that happened.
All right, for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Tommy Storms. I co-founded this organization. So it did not exist until we had a dream, we had an idea and a purpose, and it came from conversations just like the one that I want to have with you today. I haven't always been forthcoming about what's in it for me. I think everybody assumes, well, kids are having fun and it's great and whatever, but and it is. But I had an aunt who was post-polio, and what I saw was a family who held her so big that she almost didn't know she had that disability. I mean, my aunt was a force to be reckoned with. And she had a big stacked shoe, that dropped when she walked. She had one arm she kept behind her back, but she looked like Lauren Bacall, and the men loved her, and she married a wonderful man and had kids. And the rest is the story we all want for our own kids, right? And then there was also the neighborhood child, Kenny, who didn't have that. And I was a kid the same age as him, and he was alone, and nobody wanted to play with him. And he never got out of the house, and the house smelled. He smelled. And I was a kid, and I said and thought stupid things. I don't want any more kids like that in the world. I don't want any more families like that in the world who don't realize that Kenny could have been playing handball. He was in a power chair. The most fun he got was when we were pushing him up and down, the street in the power chair, and he loved it, just being out. So it's important to me. And I thank you for being here again, because there's rarely a commitment that I've seen like this team has. So what I want to talk to you about today, there's something in the Buddhist practice or whatever that they call the great forgetting. It's like that we already know, we already have all the answers that we need, but we forget them. We forget that a little bit of intention and purpose gets us a lot further than if we kind of just show up and we aren't as aware of what's going on. So I want to talk to you about parenting or coaching, because they're very similar with purpose and intention. And this is not going to be a lecture. This is actually going to be participatory. I like participatory, right? So what I want you to do right now is stand up. If you can stand up. You're awesome, I know. No, but stand up and just turn to the person next to you. If you don't have a partner, we've got two. We're perfect. So everybody's got a partner. And what I want you to do is tell that person something that you've noticed about them that you really appreciate. Whatever it is. We're going to take about 30 seconds. Ready? Go.
What you do for these young?
You're always there, always positive comments, and I appreciate that very much. You're always thinking about what we can do better, what we can do for the kids, what we can do for the court, what we can do for everything. So yeah.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Good job with the court. Good job. These people know they don't have coaches. So, I appreciate y'all.
All right, let's bring that to a close. All right, if you were the one listening, now be the one speaking. So tell your partner what you really have noticed, something that you appreciate about them. Go ahead, go.
We kind of already were doing that.
That's all right. Find something else.
Y'all put miles on.
All right, great. So bring that to a close. You notice we were shifting the energy in the room a little bit, kind of. And now how you feel when somebody tells you how great you're doing? Feels pretty good, doesn't it? That's right. All right, you can have a seat again. Thanks for doing that. So we're talking about parenting with purpose and intention. Anybody got a cell phone on them to look up the definition of the word purpose? We use a lot of words. We talk about happiness, fun, sad, intention, purpose, distinctions, grades. I think we don't do as good a job as we used to of really thinking about what we're saying to each other. Really thinking about how we're showing up for each other, if you understand what I'm saying, right? So, purpose is what? Somebody find it? I cheated, so I have the definition, but I'm just saying.
I have no connection.
It's your reason. All right, so to have a purpose, you have a reason for doing something. It's been called your determination.
Desire.
Not so much. Not in the definition. It is because you can desire to do something but still not have purpose to do it. Somebody said once there need to be 3 things present in order for anything to happen. 1, you need to believe that you can do it. 2, you have to want to do it, and you have to have the skill to do it. If any one of those is missing, you're not going to do it. You can want to do it and believe you can do it, but if you don't have the skill, is it going to happen? No. You know you can do it and believe you can do it, but you really don't want to do it. Are you going to do it? No. And if the third one is missing, which is the belief that you can do it, you may want to do it and even have the skill to do it, but you just don't believe you can do it. So purpose is like that. It's a reason. It's something you're determined to do, but it's a destination. It's where you're going. I have a purpose for going there. What do you think the purpose is for ASP? What's our purpose?
Off the sidelines and into the game.
Off the sidelines into the game. What does that mean to you, Richard? Stand up, please. So just so everybody can hear you.
It means that the kids that were in the middle who for one reason or another, who didn't get the chance to be in regular sports and didn't qualify for Special Olympics, instead of just being an audience, they're actually playing.
Great, thank you. That's a great distinction of why our purpose is to create opportunity. Do I hear you correct? Opportunities that didn't exist, and I heard a distinction, put them where they fit, not try to force them into something where they don't fit. Was that right too?
Absolutely.
All right, great. That's great input. Does everybody agree with that? All right, so everybody's on the same. All right, so let me tell you what our purpose is at ASP, because it's all of that, and it's 3 things. When the Paralympics ended, and you may remember the newspaper articles, everybody's kid was excited. They had seen Usain Bolt or whoever. Now they wanted to run. Anybody ever buy a pair of Keds when you were a kid? They told you in the commercial you could run faster and jump higher. I bought some, and man, I was out there, and I would look behind me just to see, we have an effect on each other with our words and our messages and our energy. So we looked at that and we were like, just what Richard said, but our kids didn't have any place to go. My nephew didn't have any place to go. So we had a purpose of 3. One was we wanted to affect their health. We had a woman named Teresa Head who was in the program. You guys remember Teresa and Terrell Head? Remember that? They played for Clayton. They were the Clayton Killer Bees. We used to let teams name themselves. The kids picked the Killer Bees.
That's one of the pair that used to work together scoring.
No, but they were friends, so I can see where you made that connect. She said that Terrell had had 9 surgeries. 9 surgeries in 2 years. And they were all related to inactivity. We know that these kids, especially if they do use a wheelchair or they have a mobility disability, you already know pressure sores, blood clots, all of these types of things that can happen. 9 surgeries in 2 years. He wasn't playing. He was delayed graduation. So much that happened. So we wanted to get them active. So this was the physical reason why we, excuse my handwriting, my mother said I should have been a physician. I can write scripts like crazy. But if the handwriting is a problem, don't worry about it because my spelling's just as bad. All right. The second thing was we wanted to affect their sense of well-being. What do I mean by that?
Their emotional stability and so forth.
Absolutely. We wanted to affect their emotions in what way?
Positive, directive, focused, pure, equal.
Okay, feeling equal.
Graduate,
Can I venture to add some words for you like self-confidence, belonging? What are some others?
Family.
Family, connection, relationships. That's a great one. What else?
To go having friends.
Making friends. You know how often parents indicate that they wanted their child to make friends, and this was a good way to do it. And the third one is academic performance. I want you to notice how all of these are, or we call it excellence, all of these are related. If they're not healthy, they're not at school, and their grades suffer, and they're having surgeries. If they're not feeling good about themselves for whatever reason, it affects their grades. And whether or not they're showing up at school, absenteeism, depression. What else do you think we learned from playing Monopoly, or you can learn from playing Monopoly?
Greedy.
Huh?
Greedy, money-loving.
Greedy, money-loving.
Whether she can or cannot manage money.
Can or can't manage money.
Strong Monday.
Strong mind. He got all that. I don't know if it was the Monopoly game or something else that happened, but he didn't marry that woman. He wound up marrying someone else. So games are tools. They're our vehicle. Let's remember that we're driving a car. So I want you to turn again. You don't have to stand up if you don't want, but turn to your partner again. And we're going to do this. Raise your hand if you're partner A. You're going to speak first. Raise your hand if you're partner A. Oh, yeah. And raise your hand if you're partner B. All right, great. We're going to give you 30 seconds each. We'll start with partner A. Share with partner B a game that you played with someone and what you learned about that person. We don't have to use names. Ready? Go.
Oh, yeah.
I learned that much in it. Everything's not bad. We was on it. And so I was not different schools that do different things. And I don't like those.
That's what I learned about myself. I don't like it.
And let's bring that to a close. All right, partner B, you're going to share something that you learned about someone in a game. Ready? 30 seconds. Go.
All the kids on this team are a lot stronger and tighter than you think they are.
Yes.
Even though they all have their weaknesses too, they're a lot stronger in their own ways.
Yes.
And I hope in some way that we're going to
And bring that to a close. Awesome. Kind of fun to share those experiences, isn't it? And look back on it. All right, so was somebody willing to share something that you played a game, maybe with somebody? What'd you learn?
Learned I'm a criminal. That's what
You learned.
No!
Maybe we want to dig into this a little bit more. Well,
You got a safety degree,
you
don't
want?
you?
No, actually I don't. But
No, thank you, man.
no, all right. So he found out he was a criminal, whatever that means for you. All right. So we do learn though. How many of you in your talk you learned that somebody likes to bend the rules? Yeah, or maybe cheats a little bit. Yeah, or maybe maybe isn't very confident in how they play. Yeah? All right. Does that show up in your kids and in the gym and the team?
You always rub off as a parent. Just
That's right. That's right. So as a parent, you're always observing your kids. So the come from comes out in games. And we're going to be done here in just a minute. Once we change each other's lives. This is information that will change your life. I'm not sure that it will. I'm not sure that it will, but I think that it can. It's a choice. If you're paying attention to the come from, and you know if you are acting with purpose and intention. So let me ask you 2 more questions, okay? Why are you here? Why did you sign up for Adaptive Sports? What did you think? What did you want? We're going to find out if you're getting what you wanted. What did you want when you signed up, whether it was as a coach or as a parent? What did you want for your kid?
Something that my kid included that he could do and be a part of and make friends, something that would build his confidence.
All right.
And this changed
So and with regard to confidence, thank you. So confidence, belonging. Remember, we're coming right back to some of those. So confidence. How about pride
Yes.
and belonging?
And learning how to be a part of a team.
Okay, teamwork.
Redemption. That's
Redemption.
That's mine, that's personal.
What
Redemption.
does that mean to you?
Not quitting anymore.
Not quitting. So winning.
No, not just winning,
Not just
but
winning.
not quitting on a thing anymore.
Not so determination. Would that be a good one?
Redemption through determination.
Redemption through determination. All right. Okay. We'll go to redeem yourself through determination to not quit.
Just participation. Some of these kids wouldn't participate at all if it wasn't.
Just to play. Just to be a part of it. All right. Huh?
Independent.
And independent. I love that one. All right. Any more?
Well, for me, if I go all the way back, it was for existence. They told me that they didn't have a coach, and the team would fall apart if somebody didn't take the coaching position. And I just took it so that they wouldn't.
So opportunity again,
Oh,
that otherwise would not exist if you hadn't. Opportunity. My brain is and writing to the side is really fun. Opportunity. Yeah, I told you my handwriting and my spelling are great. Good one. All right. Oh, so all these. So this is what you came for. This is what you came for. What do you actually get at the end of the day if you win the state tournament or win the game or whatever? I'm going to tell you get about 3 things. But what do you think you have? Concretely that you can walk up and show somebody else. This is what I got.
Pride.
Huh?
Sense of pride.
Can you see pride? Well, I'm talking about tangibles though. This is more of a feeling. I'm talking about what you have. How about I'll get you started.
Newspaper.
But a newspaper, a T-shirt. You get a T-shirt, you sure do. What else?
Trophy,
You get a trophy. What else?
banner.
Get a banner. Okay. What else?
Something you can brag about.
Well, that's more feeling, bragging rights. You get a T-shirt. How about a photo? You get a photo. Folks, that's it. That's what we give you. This is what you pay for. This is what you get when you leave. Tangible. You have a T-shirt, a trophy, a banner, and a photo. Does anybody disagree with that? That's what you get. But this is what you came for.
You trying to renege on what you give us now?
I like you. No, so here's what I'm saying. Do you know people who have a trophy, but they still don't have a sense of pride? Do you know people who have a banner, but they still just didn't feel like they had redeemed themselves, or they didn't feel like they had all the opportunity they really wanted? You have people they got a photo, but they still don't feel like they belong. They even have all of this, but they didn't quite feel like they were part of a team. Is that true? So both and you can have all of this and have all of this. What is the determining factor as to whether you get what you want?
The individual.
The individual.
Attitude.
It's all about attitude.
Attitude.
I think that's what the parents and the coaches together pour into each child. Not just your own, but your own kids.
So it is, let me see if I'm hearing this correct. It's not only, it's a personal choice, but it can be a group choice. We want this, we create it. So this becomes your come from instead of this. If your child, your athlete, your coach, you as a parent, your school administrators are expecting this over this, is it going to work? And if you're expecting this over this, is it going to work? So I'm going to wrap up with this, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit more, with your permission, about the other workshops that we're going to offer that we've designed because of your input and some of the things that we want to achieve. What is, I'm going to talk about control. What can you control in your life? Because life's going to life. Cars are going to break down. Somebody's going to be sick and not be there that day for practice, whatever. But what are the things that are inside your control with this in life, as life lives.
Your own attitude.
Your attitude. How about your emotions? Anybody here does not feel that you have the ability to choose your emotions? I'm not saying you don't feel them, but you have the ability to determine how you're going to show up with them.
You
Yep.
got 7 strings so we'll agree to that.
I like you. We get to talk. I really do. So attitude, emotions. How about preparation? Can you control being prepared when you come, like blowing up the tires, putting a game schedule together, telling parents when to show up? You can control that, right? What else?
Words,
Huh?
you can control your words.
You can control your language. Yes. You can control your language. You can control who plays when as a coach. You know, who's in, who's out, you know, who plays. And you can set limits and rewards based on achievement of something you've asked an athlete to do or a parent to do, right? So these things are in our control. What's not in your control?
The referees.
The referees. Do referees make mistakes?
Luck.
Do
It's not in
referees?
your control.
It is. Well, now I'm gonna say something about luck. There are almost every referee in this league at this point is GHSA and ASP certified. Very few that just play for us. They coach, or rather referee for volleyball. There's a guy in there right now. Volleyball, basketball, and all 3 of our sports. 20 years of experience. He's out there, that's all he does is officiate like you do your job. And so he has some expertise that I don't have and that maybe you don't have, but does he still make bad calls sometimes? Does he still miss it sometimes?
We're all human.
Sure he does. So referees are good to talk about. You know, the coaching by other teams. I can't control what another coach has told the other team about being on. Now I want you to listen to your language. I want you to listen to your language and pay attention to your come from. Because when you walk in the room, if those words are coming out of your mouth, I know it's also your come from and something else is going on there.
The players told us to be
I got you. So anyway, coaching about somebody else. In other words, we can get frustrated because coach says, be on number 7. He's your best player. But he's told them be on number 7 because they're trying to be able to get their ball players through. Of course they're going to block the guy who's the best guy. Can you control the weather? You can't control the weather. You get someplace, we can go on and on and on, but you cannot control those things. Accidents, absent players, sickness we talked about, absenteeism. Sometimes that just happens, you know, there are accidents that happen. So, there are outside and inside factors that we either can or we can't control. And here's the whole point of parenting or coaching with purpose and intention and driving the bus. What's driving your bus? Is this driving your bus or is this driving your bus? In order to get what you said you wanted, not what we give you when you leave. Is this landing? What are you hearing? Somebody.
Is that overall, I would say 99% of the program's outstanding. It does what it's supposed to do. But any rational person who would have a brain is going to have that negative side in there saying, this is how we're going to
Absolutely.
have to deal with it.
Absolutely. Do you hear what he said? Because this is great information. That's a really, really good point. We have it in us to doubt. We have it in us to question. But we just talked about choosing from what we want as opposed to maybe things we can't control. So here's my point. If I feel like, all right, I didn't win because the referee made a bad call. I didn't win because that coaching and they kept that guy over there on top of our best player and it just didn't happen. And then the weather was awful and that made Tina sick and so she was absent at that game and that affected our stats. And then Kara, she had an accident and that left 2 more of our players out on the, and it's just like, oh my gosh, life is so happening to me. Life is happening to you, or what do we call this when life is happening to you? We have a word for that. What do we call it?
Anxiety disorder.
Circumstance.
What do we call it? You know people who, no matter what happens, life is happening to them. They've always got a reason why life won't work out.
Pessimist.
I want you to look that word up when you don't have to look it up now, but you can look it up later. And you will find that this is from the original Latin, talking about being able to climb a high, rocky peak. So there's a challenge implied, or not. You will never win if you think that you can control any of this and that it makes you who you are. You'll never be able to. And if your kid, if what we're looking at is what happened in that play instead of shake it off. You ever heard the thing? Get your head in the game. Stuff happens, but that doesn't define us. This is what defines us. You made that play better than anybody I've seen play that. That was better than you did it in practice. We teach in our coaching. In our coaching, we teach set an individual goal and set a team goal. We can't beat that. I can't control how good another team is if they've got players that they just are outgunning me. I can't control that. I can make coaching adjustments. I can do a lot of things, but I can't necessarily win. But I can set a team goal. We're going to score 4 more points against them this game than we did last game. That's the mark. That's our intention. That's our purpose. So what's the opposite of being, coming from being a victim? I'm not saying you are, but I'm just saying it's an attitude, right? What's the opposite of that?
Sociopath.
So the opposite of victim, it's right over there on the board. This school system is teaching their kids about how to be responsible, to come from responsible. Now, I'm not saying that I'm responsible for everything that happens in the league or everything that happens with your child. But if that's my come from, I immediately go to, what role did I play in it? How can I be different, better, change my attitude, control my emotions, prepare a little bit more, hold a parent meeting. Let people know we all need to get refocused. We all need to remember health, well-being, academic performance. And if they go home with a trophy and a shirt, yay! But that's not something I can always control. But I can always control these. And then what happens when your kid gets out into the world? And people judge him? Don't open the door. Don't bend a rope. Don't do something that they need. They can, what? Come from, the world is happening to me. I'm helpless. There's nothing I can do. And they come in the gym this way. Oh God, we're playing so-and-so. Well, it's all over. You see the energy shift when a coach or a parent or somebody's yelling at a referee or what? Do you see the energy shift in the players on the field? Do you see it go from, we got this, to, I can't do it. So, that is the end of our discussion about parenting with purpose and intention. Was that valuable? Was it anything you didn't know?
Something we forgot.
Yep, the great forgetting. The great forgetting, we forget it. So may I tell you more about the workshops we're going to be holding? Okay. We're going to be offering Attitude Determines Your Altitude. We're going to be offering some stuff on parents about advocacy, telling empowering stories to your school system and to our legislators so that these programs get to exist everywhere. And you'll be hearing more about that later. I'm about to hand out a parent survey. They're actually here on the table. If you wouldn't mind unclipping those and passing those down. We want these back either at the end of today